Hello everyone. YuktMind is ready with its daily initiative 10 minutes and newspaper done, where we offer a squeezed gist of bulky newspapers. So let's do it quickly. Today is 25th May and we have selected 9 articles from today's paper. If you want to download the PDF of the gist, please visit our Telegram channel and website's Daily Current Affair tab. First news, the Changathi project, part of the Kerala Literacy Mission, has been envisaged for teaching migrant laborers to read and write Malayalam and Hindi. Though migrant laborers become an inevitable part of many sectors of an economy of a state, they still face exclusion. The study material was prepared keeping in mind the demand of migrant workers, like it had chapters related to hygiene, health, values, and rights of workers. It is to be noted that Kerala has an estimated 3.5 million interstate migrants, according to a study commissioned by the Department of Labour and Skills. Also, Kerala has been a pioneer in instituting social welfare programs for migrant workers. Second news, the Enforcement Directorate has conducted searches against foreign registered online gaming companies and websites for suspected violations under the Foreign Exchange Management Act, which is known as FEMA, involving about 4,000 crore. Now, what is FEMA? It is a set of regulations that empowers the RBI to pass regulations and enables the Government of India to pass rules relating to foreign exchange in tune with the foreign trade policy of India. FEMA replaced an act called Foreign Exchange Regulation Act (FERA) because FERA did not comply with the post-liberalization policies of the government. The demand of post-liberalization world was more of facilitation, which was provided by FEMA, whereas FERA was more restrictive in nature. The main change brought in FEMA compared to FERA is that it made all the criminal offences as civil offences. FEMA is applicable to whole of India and equally applicable to the agencies and offices located outside India which are owned or managed by an Indian citizen. Third news is about Sceptre, a sceptre called the Sengol, which was given by the British to India's first Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru to represent the transfer of power in 1947, will be installed in the new Parliament building. It was originally used to mark the handing over of power from one king to another during the Chola dynasty in Tamil Nadu, who reigned from 9th century to 12th century approximately. The 5 feet long, intricately carved, unbending gold plated silver scepter with a finial of Nandi was specially commissioned by the then Thiruvavanduntarai Adhinam and was handed over to Nehru. The then Prime Minister had been handed over the Sengol amid the signing of the sacred Tamil text Thevaram, a symbolic of divine blessings and command to rule justly and fairly. The Thiruvavadutharai Mutt is located in Mayiladuthurai district of Tamil Nadu, at the heart of the erstwhile Chola kingdom in the delta area of the Kaveri. Sengol is derived from Tamil word Semmai, which means righteousness. When a new king is crowned, he would be presented with Sengol during the coronation by the high priest. The Sengol reminds the recipient, which is a new king, that he has the Anai, order or decree to rule justly. It was freedom fighter C. Raja Gopalchari who approached the Thiruvavadutharai Mutt held seeking help in making of the Sengol. The seer then tasked the craftsman from Vumidi Bangaru, a jeweler in Badras, with the work. Fourth news, India is set to dramatically scale up its supercomputing prowess and install an 18 petaflop system over the course of this year. Flops, floating point operations per second, is the full form of flops, are an indicator of processing speed of computers, and a petaflop refers to 1,000 trillion flops. Currently, India's most powerful civilian supercomputers, Pratyush and Mihir, with a combined capacity of 6.8 petaflops, are housed at the Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology, Pune, and the National Center for Medium Range Weather Forecasting, Noida. They were made operational in 2018 at an investment of 438 crore rupees. The new supercomputers are imported from French corporation ATOS, which is an information technology service and consulting company. Now, every 4 or 5 years, systems have to be upgraded. Our current high-performance computers allows us to map weather and climate changes to a resolution of 12 by 12 km. With the new system, we can improve resolution to 6 by 6 km, which will lead to more accurate local forecast. The goal is to eventually be able to represent an area by 1 kilometer square grids, and that can be used to warn of cloudburst and such rapidly evolving weather systems. Now let's talk about supercomputers of the world. The fastest high performance computing system in the world is currently the Frontier Cray system at Oak Ridge National Laboratory, United States. This has peak speed of 1 exaflop, which is 1000 petaflops. Globally, China has the maximum number of supercomputers and maintains the top position in numbers, followed by the USA, Japan, France, Germany, Netherlands, Ireland, and the UK. Now, what are supercomputers? The computers that performs at near the currently highest operational rate for computers. And petaflop is a measure of a supercomputer's processing speed. They are used in weather forecasting, scientific research, data mining, etc. India's first supercomputer was Param 8000. Fifth news. For the second time in a decade, the UN recognized Global Alliance of National Human Rights Institution, GANRI, deferred the accreditation of the National Human Rights Commission of India, citing objections such as political interference in appointments, involving the police in probes into human rights violations, and poor cooperation with civil society. They also cited lack of diversity in staff and leadership and insufficient action to protect marginalized groups as reasons for the deferment of the accreditation. Concerns have been raised regarding the NHRC's lack of independence, pluralism, diversity, and accountability that are contrary to the United Nations principles on the status of national institutions, which are also known as Paris Principles. The NHRC India has been set up under the Protection of Human Rights Act passed by Parliament in 1993. It has been accredited as an A status national human rights institution since the beginning of the accreditation process for NHRIs in 1999, which it retained in 2006, 11, 17, also after a deferment. Now, some facts about NHRC India. The composition of NHRC is one chairperson, 5 full-time members, and 7 deemed members. Now, chairperson is a person who has been either a Chief Justice for India or a judge of Supreme Court. Chairperson and members are appointed by President on recommendation of a 6 members committee. Now, let us know if you know who are the members of the 6 member committee and write in the comments below. Sixth news, the Supreme Court has held that the independence of district judiciary is part of the basic structure of the Constitution, and judicial independence from the executive and the legislature requires the judiciary to have a say in matters of finances. To secure their impartiality, it is important to ensure their financial security and economic independence. This doctrine is only the logical conclusion of separation of powers and ensures that the independence of the judiciary is secured. The separation of power is mentioned in Article 50 of Directive Principle of State Policy in our Constitution. Seventh news, Bulgarian writer Georgi Gospodinov and translator Angela Rodel won the International Booker Prize on Tuesday for Time Shelter, a darkly comic novel about the dangerous appeal of nostalgia. Time Shelter imagines a clinic that recreates the past with each floor reproducing a different decade. Intended as a way to help people with dementia unlock their memories, it soon becomes a magnet for people eager to escape the modern world. Eighth news, FDI flows likely to rebound only from 2024-25 according to Japanese financial services firm Nomura. FDI flows into India, which fell 25.6% in 2022-23 to $28.7 billion, are likely to remain sedate this year as well. The drop in net FDI flows last fiscal from $38.6 billion in 21-22 and $43.5 billion in financial year 21 was more likely due to global push factors such as tighter monetary policies in developed markets, Ukraine-Russia war, while domestic pull factors like supply chain relocations were yet to materially lift investment flows. Economic Survey 2023 also quoted about FDIs that during the first half of this fiscal, Singapore emerged as the top investor. It was followed by Mauritius, UAE, USA, Netherlands, and Japan. Keep these countries in mind because such questions may be asked in the preliminary examination. The computer, software, and hardware sector attracted the highest inflows during the first 6 months of this fiscal. It was followed by services, trading, chemicals, automobile, and construction activities. The country has registered its highest ever FDI inflows of USD $84.84 billion in 21-22. A decline in foreign investment could put pressure on the country's balance of payments. Ninth news, India has been pitching for WTO reforms and also pressing for better dispute settlement mechanisms during G20 talks. Now, what is the issue with dispute settlement mechanism? The USA stopped the process of reappointing judges after their terms expired in 2017. In December 2019, number of judges in the court fell below 3, which is the minimum requirement for it to function. So the body has ceased to be relevant. The emphasis of these discussions would be on reaffirming WTO's foundational principles as embodied in the Marrakesh Agreement and its multilateral trade agreements, thus recognizing the need for the open, fair, inclusive, and transparent functioning of WTO. Thank you for watching. Let us know your feedback in the comments below and keep visiting our website, Telegram, Instagram, and Twitter.